All right, movie fans, welcome back for another deep dive. We're going to be taking a look at 5 military action movies that you guys have requested.
Yeah, we got a really interesting list here, so let's just jump right into it.
Okay, so first on the list, 65, Adam Driver fighting dinosaurs.
65 million years ago, to be precise.
That's right. Crash lands on prehistoric Earth. I mean, come on, that sounds like a fun premise, right?
Absolutely. It's a high-concept sci-fi action flick. Adam Driver's character crash lands, and along the way encounters this young survivor named Koa, played by Ariana Greenblatt.
So they're fighting dinosaurs together.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's a fight for survival against dinosaurs. But the thing is...
Are the dinosaurs bad?
The CGI is not bad. It's decent. But the execution of the film kind of falters a bit. The tones are kind of uneven.
Oh, I see.
It goes from like super intense action to these kind of quiet, emotional moments.
Doesn't quite mesh together.
Yeah, and then the character development, especially with Koa,
Yeah.
it's a little underdeveloped, so the emotional impact isn't quite there.
Okay, so maybe not the best dinosaur movie out there.
Right, you got it. A fun watch, maybe on a streaming service, but not necessarily a must-see.
Okay, I got it. Let's move on to the next one. This one sounds like just pure adrenaline playing.
Oh yeah, this one is a straight-up action thriller.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
As a pilot. What more could you want?
And he crash lands on this island.
Oh, wow.
But get this, the island's controlled by a hostile militia.
Oh, no. So it's like survival action.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got to protect the passengers.
Oh, geez. High stakes.
Yep. And he has this unlikely ally, this fugitive, played by Mike Coulter.
What? That's cool. Okay, so definitely sounds like an action movie.
Classic tropes. You know, thrills, tension, and Butler being Butler.
So no deep thinking required for this one. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, the plot is pretty straightforward. It's more about the spectacle and the action.
Okay, next up, The Inspection. This one seems to be a bit different.
Yeah, this one is a drama. It's a story about Jeremy Pope's character.
And he's a Marine, right?
Yes, he enlists in the Marines. But he's gay and he faces a lot of prejudice.
Oh, wow. So it's like a story about overcoming adversity.
Yeah, and discrimination.
Right.
It's got some really strong performances. Bokeem Woodbine plays the tough drill instructor, and Gabrielle Union plays Jeremy Pope's mother.
Sounds intense.
Yeah, it definitely tackles some important themes, but the storytelling at times, it gets a little heavy-handed, you know?
Okay.
So it's a powerful story, but maybe not the most subtle.
Okay, got it. Let's move on to a true story now, shall we? Devotion.
Yeah, this one's based on the Korean War.
2 Navy pilots, Jesse Brown, played by Jonathan Majors, and Tom Hudner, played by Glenn Powell.
Their friendship is really tested.
Oh, how's that?
Amidst, you know, the aerial combat and the racial prejudice of the time.
Wow, so it's got action, drama, and it's based on a true story. Sounds like a pretty powerful combination.
Yeah, definitely. It gets high marks for its visuals. Stunning.
Right.
The bond between the pilots, it's really captivating. And of course, the historical context.
Okay, so this one is one to look out for.
For sure.
Okay, last but certainly not least, we have The Pale Blue Eye, which sounds like a very different kind of film.
This one is a gothic mystery.
Set in 1830. That's pretty cool.
Christian Bale is a detective.
And he's investigating murders.
A military academy. Yeah.
And, wait, he's held by Edgar Allan Poe?
Yep, played by Harry Milling.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got murders, a military academy, and Edgar Allan Poe. This one is definitely intriguing.
But the dynamic between the detective and Poe, it's really the heart of the film. It's what makes it so interesting.
Okay. I'm sold.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
So I've got 5 very different movies here.
They're all kind of military themed, but
they each have their own unique take on the genre, right?
Exactly. And they all try to offer something a little bit more than just the typical, you know, explosions and gunfights.
All right. So now that we've given you a taste of what to expect, let's dive a little deeper into each of these films.
Yeah, let's unpack some of those nuances and see what makes them tick.
We'll be back after a quick break to do just that.
Stay tuned. You know, it's interesting how these films kind of play with our expectations, you know? Like, take Plane, for example.
Yeah.
On the surface, it's a typical Gerard Butler action movie. But the fugitive character, it adds this layer of moral ambiguity, right?
Yeah.
It's not always clear who's the good guy, the bad guy.
Right, they're forced to work together.
Exactly. So it kind of makes you think about, like, what makes a hero?
Interesting. It's like the environment they're in, the island, kind of pushes them to their limits.
Yeah.
Right, makes them do things they wouldn't normally do.
Yeah, the island becomes like a character in itself.
That's a good point. And speaking of challenging environments, the inspection boot camp
Intense.
Really puts the spotlight on the experience of a gay recruit facing all that prejudice.
Yeah, and the inner struggle of Jeremy Pope's character, Ellis French. It's really powerful.
He's fighting those external forces, but also fighting himself in a way.
Right, like he's trying to prove himself, but also just trying to be himself.
So it's a story about resilience, about being true to yourself.
Absolutely. But I gotta say,
Right.
the storytelling, it can be a bit heavy-handed at times.
You think so?
Like, the message is important, don't get me wrong, but it's not very subtle.
Yeah, maybe could have been a little more nuanced.
Exactly. But still, I think it's a film that brings up some really important issues.
I bet acceptance, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a topic that you see a lot in mainstream movies.
Good point. So the inspection, maybe not perfect, but definitely worth talking about.
Yeah, for sure. And Jeremy Pope's performance is incredible. Really moving.
Okay, let's move on. Devotion. Taking us back to the Korean War.
The friendship between these two pilots.
Yeah, Jesse Brown and Tom Hudner.
It's amazing. Like, amidst all the chaos and prejudice.
Their bond is really tested, huh?
Oh, absolutely. And the film doesn't shy away from the racial dynamics of the time.
It shows the reality of it.
Exactly. But it also celebrates their courage, their sacrifice.
And what about visually? The source mentioned some stunning visuals. Those aerial combat scenes, did they live up to the hype?
Oh, they're incredible. Like, really breathtaking. The director really knows how to capture the intensity of those dogfights.
Okay, so it's got a powerful story, A&D's stunning visuals.
Yeah, this one's a must-see.
All right. Let's talk about The Pale Blue Eye.
Yeah.
Totally different vibe.
This one's all about the atmosphere, right? That Gothic setting, the military academy.
And Edgar Allan Poe, I mean, come on.
He's not the famous writer we know yet. He's just a cadet.
But you can see those glimpses of his dark genius.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the dynamic between him and Bale's detective, it's so well done.
The source material mentioned that the plot itself is kind of predictable.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for twists and turns,
Yeah, the big reveal.
you might be a little disappointed. But if you're into the atmosphere, the characters,
Yeah, the mood of the film.
then this one's for you. It's
Yeah.
more about the journey, you know, the psychology of these characters.
It's like a puzzle, right? You're
Yep.
piecing it together with them.
Exactly. And that Gothic setting adds to the whole mystery. Like, nothing is what it seems.
Okay, so 5 films, all with military connections.
But each telling a very different story.
Yeah, and they all kind of go beyond just the surface level, right? They make you think.
Yeah, they explore these deeper themes about human nature, about our choices.
And they all highlight the human element, even in these extreme settings.
That's what makes them so compelling.
All right, so we've explored these films, kind of unpack what makes them tick.
And now it's your turn.
Which one will you be adding to your watch list? Let us know in the comments below. Wow, we've talked about a lot of movies, huh? From dinosaurs to the Korean War.
And everything in between.
Yeah, it's amazing how they all use these military settings to tell these really human stories. You know?
Exactly. Like with 65,
Yeah.
it's not just about the dinosaurs, right? It's about survival, connection.
The bonds we form when things get tough.
Right. And then you have Plane, this action-packed thriller, but it also makes you think about,
About the choices we make, yeah.
like, what would you do in that situation?
Right. And the inspection,
A powerful story.
it shows the struggles of being different, you know, and fighting for acceptance.
Yeah, especially in a system that's all about conformity.
Right, exactly. And then devotion. I mean, the Korean War, it's not a conflict you see a lot in movies.
True, but the story, the friendship, it's universal.
Yeah, it really is. And the Pale Blue Eye, it's just so atmospheric, you know.
Oh, yeah, it draws you in, makes you feel like you're right there with them, solving the mystery.
So 5 movies, 5 different genres.
But all connected by this military thread.
Yeah. And I think they all show us something about ourselves, you know, about what it means to be human.
In these sometimes extreme situations, yeah.
Exactly. So what do you think? Which one are you to watch first?
Tough choice. They all sound pretty good.
I know. Well, that's it for this deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
And be sure to let us know what you think of these movies. We love hearing from you. Until next time, happy watching.